I think we are live.
Okay, very cool.
Yeah.
First live stream.
Good. So, Schnurz, you want to still steer the meeting, or?
So you can I will check if live streaming works, and you can already start with the program.
Yeah, you will steer the meeting, or should I do that, or what do you think? I think he's gone. Schnurz, are you still there?
I'm here, but so you just start with what we want to do.
Yes. Do you know what? Okay. So I take over the meeting. So thank you very much to the what is the number 6 live stream? Or not the 6th live stream. It's the first live stream of the Specter Builder call and the 6th call we have so far. So usually we have maybe someone who has something to show, and second part, if we don't have anything to show, we go over the current status. We go via the pull requests, issues. We look at that, and then we close the call again. So this time, I think we have Oren. Is that correct?
Yes, Oren.
Oren, yeah, welcome to the call. And I think for this call, you have something to show us. So maybe you can introduce and give a little bit of context first, so that the viewers know what this is about.
Yeah. So hi, I'm Oren. I met Schnutz in Lugano, and I really love your project. I'm working founded a small startup company called RightTrack, and we are trying to help people with self-custody Bitcoin to create signed transactions to a secondary wallet or a custodian, and those signed transactions can be broadcasted in times of emergency. For example, if you lost your seed. So if you are using a complicated multi-sig where you hide your seed in multiple places, and the more complicated you make it, the more likely that you will lose some part of it. So it's important to have these pre-signed transactions that move your Bitcoin to a simpler place. Now, in our mechanism, we are using time locks, and we are using n-sequence time lock. I wrote a plugin for Electrum. You can check it yourself. It's in the latest version. It's called time lock recovery. And what it's doing is it helps you sign two transactions. One transaction is a consolidation transaction. Just move the Bitcoin from your UTXOs to a new address. And the second transaction sends it to the destination that you choose, and it has an n-sequence field, a special n-sequence field saying it can be broadcast only whatever you define. The default is 90 days after the first transaction. And it helps you, maybe I can share the screen. Share screen. Share video. Share. Why do I share the screen? In the video, no. In the three dots.
It's it should be one button, the third button from the left.
Oh, okay. So let's show this screen, and so you can see an example of the PDF. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Electrum plugin allows you to create this PDF where it explains you everything you need to know, how much Bitcoin you're going to send. And here is the first transaction. We call it the alert transaction. It sends the Bitcoin to your own wallet. And here is and here are some links how to make sure it was mined. A link to Mempool and a link to Blockstream. And this is the recovery transaction that will move the Bitcoin to the destination, and it has a special end sequence, which is written. Let's see. Yeah, 2 days after the alert transaction. So that's it. Now, in this scenario, it's very important. It's very important for the users to know that they are actually signing the amount, the relative time lock that they wanted. If you are you want to create this safety mechanism that will allow future you or maybe your inheritors to broadcast transactions with a 90 days cancellation period. So they broadcast the first transaction, and if you are still with us with access to your keys, you can move the Bitcoin elsewhere. But after 90 days, the Bitcoin will move to the destination, and you don't want it to be 2 days. You want it to be 90 days or maybe 300 days, whatever you decide. And really, a few hardware wallets really show you specifically end sequence. I didn't find any hardware wallet that shows you the end sequence that you are signing. And for the end lock time, which is more common, creating a signed transaction that can be broadcasted only, a single transaction that can be broadcasted only a year from now, on an absolute date, that's I found that Trezor show it, but other wallets don't show it. And I opened a few issues, but the excuse was we have a small screen, it's too much details, we don't want to show it, but your project is perfect for it because finally we have a big screen.
Yeah, and I think you also have a PR ready. So we're not talking about just wishful Christmas things. Just you did some proof of work already, right?
Yeah,
so
yeah.
maybe
I
you
wrote
can.
a PR that adds this data. It adds the end lock time, and it adds the end sequence, and it explains, and also the transaction version, which is very important when you talk about relative lock times, because the end sequence has a different meaning if it's a V1 or V2. The relative lock time is only in the version 2, if I'm not mistaken. And so yeah, it simply show it on the screen. If the user is signing a transaction that cannot be broadcasted immediately, not only after a specific amount of time or starting from a simple block height, the user wants to know it. So yeah,
we also want to know it. So maybe you can share screen and show the PR. It has a screenshot in there, and yeah, we haven't seen that yet. That's
so yeah. I didn't arrange.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to show it live, but I think you have created a screenshot already, and we want to look at the PR. And
Sure. Here, let me open the PR. And here. So when you move the show detailed information switch, you will now see the transaction version, which is typically 2 in all modern wallets, the lock time, and also sorry. Oh, okay. And also, if the log time is in a timestamp format, I think above 500 million, it's in a timestamp format, so it will show you the date of the log time. And here, which is more important for our case, is that for every input, you also see the sequence number in hex format. And if it has a meaning, for example, it's a relative log time, it also shows it in a human way of how much log time. In this case, it's this number in hex multiplied by 512 seconds. So this is the amount. Yeah, there are also other cases for the sequence, which has a different meaning. Maybe we can see it here. So yeah, we can see in the code. So if the sequence is FFFFFFF, the highest number, then it means that for the log time is disabled for this input. And if it's this value for all inputs, it means that the log time is disabled in the entire n log time field has no meaning. So this is another thing that above I write a warning about. Typically, words don't do it. They don't never use this value. For the FE value, I had the comment replaced by field disable with quotation of irony or sarcasm. Yeah, because in modern nodes it's not really disabled. The Bitcoin nodes and the miners will obviously choose the transaction that gives them fee. So there is no really a way to say a transaction that is RBF disabled. And for transaction version 2, values that are below this and match this pattern, okay, only these bits are on and not the others, then it's relative log time. And in any other case, I'm writing non-standards. Maybe in the future there will be more standards for them, but that's a non-standard usage of the n sequence field. Here is just code that shows that parses it in a human readable way to days, hours, minutes, seconds. And time is in blocks and not in, if the for don't remember the exact offset, but if the bit here is false, then it's measured in blocks. And as you can see here, so if it's measured in blocks, it writes you that the relative log time is in blocks. What else can we see here? Yeah, all the offset calculation. I'm mostly a web developer and React Native developer, so this is always funny that in Python you have to specifically say the offset of everything, but I think I got it right. What else? Oh, here we can.
Well, why is there a differentiation between platform and everything else? What is that here?
Yeah. So we have, I want to convert the there isn't a good Python way to get absolute dates. This is for the n log time field. So the n log time field, here we can see the code for it.
So you're talking about blockade, right? Blockade.
Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
the n log time field, it can be parsed as here, and can be parsed as as an absolute time. Let's see what just
But you only do that. So I don't understand why we have a differentiation here of these two. So
yeah. So here I want to format to write the time format in UTC, and in this MicroPython there is no easy way to format the date in UTC. It behaves differently in a simulator and in a real device. So the values that you get, the function that converts to the date, it behaves differently. And what it treats, you have to give it a timestamp that in real Python, it's from 1st of January 1970. But in MicroPython, in the Python sim, in the actual device, I understand that it's measured from 1st of January 2000.
Okay. So on the one hand side, it should be, from my point of view, both MicroPython. One is the Unix variant of MicroPython, and the other one is like the embedded thing of MicroPython. But maybe you can just make a very verbose comment here, so that Mike, at some point in time, because it might be a bug, right? Or Mike, what do you think about that?
I need to
Yeah,
more, but to me it seems that it's better to write the same functions for both platforms.
Yeah, so because otherwise it would probably be a bug. So maybe you can at least make a kind of comment here why how it would look like if you don't have that code here, because it otherwise it's difficult to fix the bug, because it sounds like a bug. It sounds like a bug in MicroPython.
Yeah, it may be a bug in MicroPython.
Yeah, the UTime local time, I now recall, the UTime local time behaves differently.
It may be that some modules are absent in Unix build. We should check if all necessary libs are compiled in MicroPython in both builds, because for each kind of build, individually. So you can enable some features for microcontroller and disable for Unix if it's not needed there.
Okay. So
I believe it's better to leave only one implementation that it's microcontroller specific, but should run on Unix build as well.
So do you want to check whether there are certain things not activated on the Unix or the other one, or how do we deal with this, Mike? What is your
I can tell what is enabled or disabled for now, but I need more time to check this exact case, what is critical and what probably not.
Sure. Maybe move it to some global utils. This part, maybe move it to some global utils library, and maybe converting timestamps to dates will be useful in other places as well.
Yeah, something like that. Okay. But maybe we have maybe make a comment for now, so that we just remember out of that we don't only have that know-how here in the call, that you write a more or less comprehensive comment why you have that code while we are reviewing it. But
Yeah,
other than
definitely worth doing so.
Yeah.
Sure,
But-
and I also mention again that I only tested the simulator case. I read online that on a real device it will behave differently, and on real device you have this GM time function, which you don't have on a simulator. So somebody needs to really test it on a real device. I just didn't have time for it.
That's a great point, because I would like to see maybe some test data, at least in the PR, maybe even automated tests or something like that. Maybe we don't need that, but having that in the PR would really be awesome. Maybe, for example, a seat QR where people can scan the seat QR, and then they have, I don't know, bacon, and then maybe some transaction based on that, which people can scan, and then they can look how it looks like. Yeah,
Sure.
does it make sense?
Yeah. I will make one, for example. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but before, I mean, we already dived into the details. Is there something about the someone wants to say something? Does that make sense at all, this kind of PR, or what do you think about it?
Well, we've got a nice big screen. We might as well use the real estate. So big screen, might as well use the space. So I think it's good.
Yeah.
So it's an advantage we have, which others don't, and so it makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So concept acknowledged, more or less.
Yeah.
You want to take
I'll put it in the PR concept. Right.
Yeah.
So
And
one thing is this only showing when you have like a time log or something, or time end time or anything, or is this every time showing this information?
It's every time. Every time it shows you the log time and the end sequence field. Usually the end sequence field are just FFFFFFFD. That's the default case. And obviously you only see it if you switch to the advanced detailed information.
Yeah, because it might be confusing with people who don't know that we have some scripting language under the hood, right? So maybe it also makes sense to have a test case. Maybe you would make two test cases, one where you have your special nlog time in place, a script with your nlog time. And I also have a general question, like, is that a specific kind of script we are addressing here? I mean, usually you don't have any nlog time, but let's assume we have a script where we have somewhere a different. So I'm also not a scripting specialist here, so I might have stupid questions here. So specific to your use case, or is that somehow generic?
So nlog time and end sequence exist in every transaction. That it's a point that confuses a lot of people. You don't need any special script. A simple pay to public key hash or witness public key hash. Every transaction has an end sequence field and an end log time field, end sequence field per input. You also have op check log time and op check sequence verify, and these operations allows you to create more complicated wallets where from a secondary key can be used only after a certain date or a certain relative date to when the UTXO was created. I know that Liana is very famous for building such a wallet. That every Bitcoin that comes in, there is some main seed that can always spend it, and the secondary seed that has in the script op check sequence verify, and then it can be used only if the next transaction has an end sequence that you define, for example, 300 days, and that makes the secondary key not be able to spend the funds before 300 days have passed. So this is like a recovery mechanism for complicated multi-sig scenarios and stuff like that. But yeah, end sequence and end lock time exist on every transaction. And that allows our mechanism with the two transactions to not need any script supporting wallet. So even with a simple Trezor that are known for not supporting script, you can use our time lock recovery signing, even though you will not know how many days the time locks that you signed have. You trust the computer to give you the right information.
Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
Okay. So are there other remarks about anything of that pull requests, or can we, if we figure out the kind of simulator thing, just merge it right away, or what do you think?
I think a test vector would be nice. So I've just put a note in there as well, just even using just a PSVT faker just to make a transaction so that we can just test on hardware and add to the CI tests and things would be nice.
Yeah, that's definitely a big one.
Yeah. The only other thing, Oren, is if you want hardware, like I've got spare Specter hardware, we can get some to you if that would be helpful.
I actually got one from Snoots in the conference, but I don't want it to use it for development. I want to use it for so I just don't want to rewrite its software so much.
Well, if you want another one for development, like if it would help you to maintain the feature and maybe other features and things, you can shoot me an email and organize one for you.
Okay, thank you.
Where are you located?
Me? In Tel Aviv, Israel.
In Tel Aviv. Okay. I think that I'm not sure, but I think maybe we can make it happen. Let's see.
Yeah, I've sent hardware to clients in Israel. It normally takes about 6 weeks to get from
then the mail
here
here is terrible.
Yeah.
But I'm going next month to Abu Dhabi and then to Taiwan. So there are conferences, BTC++, maybe somebody is going to BTC++ in Taiwan. We can meet over there or in the Bitcoin MENA in Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, I have a lot of options.
Okay.
Maybe you know somebody that goes there. Another thing about my PR, now recalled, maybe it's a good feature, maybe it's not. Also add the transaction ID. So show the transaction ID to the users on the screen. I don't know in which scenarios it's important to see the transaction ID. You tell me, maybe if you want to compare an old wallet with a new wallet to make sure that they are making the very same transaction. I don't know.
I don't see the point, to be honest. So or others. I would skip that.
So just because I'm now familiar with the UI code, I just thought, well, it will be easy to push this information too. But maybe it's too much information to show on the screen when it's not needed.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So then, as a summary, for the PR test data would be great. Tidying up the simulator, kind of strange special case is a great idea. I can also test that. So we can, by the way, yeah, I can easily test that. I will test it up to next week on the device. Maybe make a kind of photo so that we know how it looks like on the device. And add that to the PR and maybe make some kind of recommendation of how we deal with that when Mike has also an idea about, or maybe afterwards, because if Mike is seeing how it looks like on the device, maybe he has also an idea why there is a difference, or we don't even know whether there's a difference because you haven't tested it on the device yet, right?
Yeah.
I'm trying it right now
I have
on the
some
device.
idea that
We'll
time
see.
functions may be implemented differently on Unix build and on device.
Okay. Yeah. So, by the way, do we have a binary downloadable now?
It is. You can actually download it. I downloaded it right now, so I'm actually testing it.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, but we don't have test data, so.
No, I'm just trying to create some now. But let's see.
Good. Okay, so maybe while we are checking that out, do we have any other topics?
Could I quickly just talk a little bit about some of the stuff that came up at the DIY retreat last week? That I've got PRs for. So the first one.
Yeah, that's a pretty cool.
Yeah, I've got PRs open for them anyway. So just give me 1 moment. So I'm going to share my screen. Yeah. So let's share screen and just share the tab. I suppose. Share the whole window. There we go. Yeah, so this one, actually, sorry, wrong repo, we'll go upstream. At the DIY retreat, it was interesting to see some different people use Specter and build it for the first time. And two things happened that I just added little PRs for. So one is updating the Docker, or not even Docker, just the native firmware builder to spin off a file that you can just flash without a bootloader. This is sort of in addition to the Nix build, but one of the guys there just tried to build with a native build firmware.sh file and was confused because it spat out the bootloader based ones only, and was also confused that the Docker instructions didn't on the latest build was still there. So it's really just about the question of, do we updating build.firmware.sh so that it has a dev build as well. These are the same ones that Nix automatically spits out. And the thing that's not quite in, or could be a consideration is that does Docker firmware stay or go away? So yeah, this one basically just makes the same bootloader and, no bootloader file, bin and hex, and updates the documentation to mention that as well. So it's pretty straightforward there. So it's nothing new. It's just adding it to the script. So
got it. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's in addition, more or less, right? But
this is the native build. So this is when you're not using Nix. So this spins off when you use the build_firmware.sh file. It spits out just a dev build as well, and just calls it no bootloader. Just because one of the guys who was wanting to develop immediately built it and flashed the one that locked the device down, which is fine, but it then meant we had to go through the process of unlocking it, which was a bit of a nuisance with OpenOCD or whatever it was he'd used. But it's just making clear this is the dev one you want to flash, not the initial or sort of firmware update ones. Like he was even going through and signing his own bootloader and all that other stuff, which is great, but that wasn't actually what he was going to do. He was just going to like flash different PRs and see how it all works. But he was going to build it all on his computer. And was using Docker for that.
And he don't want to use Nix, so he wanted to use Docker, right?
Well, he already had a Docker. This is one of the seed signer guys. So he already had the whole Docker stack on his computer ready to go. So he was just followed the Docker build instructions, which call this build firmware.sh file. So you'll notice in the PR, there's actually nothing that changes for Docker. It's just Docker is using this native build firmware.sh script. So it's either about updating the script or taking it out completely. But either way, people are getting confused by it. So that was one. It seems pretty non-controversial to me. So if people want to review it and you approved it anyway. So we could probably safely merge that. The other one was around what happens when you lock your smart card. In that the messaging in Specter DIY right now is quite confusing to people who don't understand the fact that you have to uninstall the applet and reinstall it once you lock the thing. So if you're not aware, basically if you are using a smart card and get the pin wrong too many times, the applet is bricked. You can uninstall the applet and put it back on again, but there's no like factory reset mechanism, like just with Specter as it exists right now. You have to just manually remove it and reinstall it. And it basically is about making the documentation a bit clearer about that and making the in-app messaging a bit clearer about that, saying you'll have to do this. But the other piece that I sort of just had, I suppose, as a question is the device offers to factory reset this when you lock one of these. Now, the thing is that once this is bricked, or the applet on here is bricked, the encrypted data on here for that smart card is not accessible. It's forever gone. However, it seems to me that forcibly resetting this, or even offering the option to reset that, is maybe overkill, just because it's encrypted and it's gone. Like if you get the pin wrong on here when you're unlocking it, like that makes sense that would wipe. But when it's the pin on here that's locked, it strikes me that it's probably better just to inform the user that needs to be reset and leave it at that, rather than have a button that just they press that makes it reset, or having it reset in an automated fashion. It depends on how paranoid you want to be. So that's sort of the discussion point for that one. So it's a documentation fix, UX improvement, plus a question, I suppose, of workflow. Which is all in the PR, sort of a bit of discussion there. Because two of the guys managed to do this. It was lock it, and then not know how to unlock it, and couldn't find out how. So obviously told them how, but
sounds reasonable. But just the last sentence: the current behavior in this PR is that a new, more verbose message is displayed when booted with a bricked smart card, with a button offering to wipe the Specter device.
Yeah, so the button at the moment also just says OK, or previously before the PR would just say OK, and you could just press OK and it would do it. But we could just get rid of that button completely and just have it to be informational. And if people want to wipe it.
So if you want to wipe it, so that it's a little bit confusing, because just booting it with the bricked smart card doesn't help to if you simply wipe the Specter device, right?
That's right. It doesn't actually fix it either. So you could end up wiping it and then it's still locked and you don't know why. So it strikes me that the best is probably to not either automatically or offer the option to tell them that the smart card is to offer to reset the device, but to inform them straight away. Because at the moment, I actually managed to brick this smart card, but I was just playing with it before, like actually proper brick it, so I can't double check it where I am right now. But if I recall correctly, the workflow as of right now is that if you put a bricked smart card into it, it'll prompt you to enter the PIN, and then once you've entered the PIN, it will tell you, no, that's wrong, and then like wipe the device and stuff. So it's still prompting you to enter it. Whereas really, like if this is bricked, that can be identified before you enter anything on here at all. It should just tell you straight away, and then tell you how to fix it. And yeah,
because I think, I mean, if you're using it also with other stuff, why do you even want to wipe it?
That's right. You probably don't want to wipe it, is my thought, because you could have 4 or 5 other perfectly good wallets on there that you don't want to interfere with. To me, it's just a bit of it's just overkill. So I just want to double check that in case I thought it was something I hadn't considered.
Yeah, absolutely. Agree. That is the current behavior. Amazing. Okay, good.
I'll have to double check the current behavior with no PR, but again, I don't have the device on me that lets me do that right now. So
yeah. I think we have a broken card somewhere, Schnurz, right? We are close to throw it away.
I think I'm not sure if I already threw it away, but I have like some special stuff that broke. So there are plenty of smart cards there as well. I will have a look. I will have a look and.
So you can test it what the current behavior is, and maybe especially test this one here. So whether
I'll make a modification to take the button that offers to reset it away. Just because you're right, that doesn't actually fix it. So you hit reset and it still doesn't actually unlock the card. It just wipes this, which may not be what you wanted to do in the first place. So
So maybe really consider that to change, because it's it doesn't help at all.
No, so it's just information based and just offering better information basically. So
I think maybe the way to go is to just inform that whether you are sure that this is the because can you even detect whether it's bricked, or is it
yes, you can. So basically when the pin counter has hit 0, it advertises it to this device even before you fully enter the pin. So the Specter device can detect it straight away, so that it won't even prompt you for a pin. Whereas the current behavior was, I think, prompting you for a pin that would always fail and then tell you it was bricked no matter what you entered, and possibly wipe the device every time it did that too, or something. But anyway, it was confusing the guys, and they didn't know how to get out of that loop. So it's just making it clear to tell people what to do.
So eject the card and reboot, because the card is bricked.
Well, not even the card. The applet is bricked. So the Specter applet on the card is bricked. If you have a card reader, you can actually remove the applet and put it back on and start with a fresh wallet on the card. But the point is, the wallet that was being encrypted by the secret on the smart card is gone. You can't get that back. So it'll restore from backup.
Yeah. So maybe have a link to resetting the card. That would be helpful.
Yeah. What was that, Mike?
Yeah, some time ago, I designed a piece of code which manages the card right from the MicroPython. So maybe it could be useful here. So the Specter can remove the old applet and load the new one without needing to install the cards in the computer.
Yeah, that's right. So essentially, I was telling the guys at the retreat just to use the seed signer fork that I've got, because it can manage the applet for them, and you don't need to worry about anything else. But it would be even better if it could be on the device itself. And if you've got that code, we could test it out. And
I think we can consider integrating this code if it's a useful feature.
Yeah, it would be extremely useful, because even when I sell on my little store, Specter smart cards with the Specter applet on it already, it'd be nice to not even have to do that. Like if this could just detect, you put in a blank Java card and essentially assume it's compatible and just try and flash it, like that would be ideal. And obviously that code could come as a later PR because there'd be a bit more complexity to it, but I think it'd be terrific to be able to provision these, including reset them with this, without having to modify the applet so that there's like a factory reset sort of code built into it. I think the current model is good, and the ability to manage applets on device would be great.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Thanks so far. So yeah, maybe.
All right, I'll just put some notes into the GitHub issue and some feedback from discussion. We'll remove the button. All right, thanks. That's all I had to offer, really.
Okay. Because I have one discussion topic here, so something I would like to ask Mike, because I think we increasingly get stuff into the main branch or into the master branch, and we want to release, but on the other hand, we want to also release the burden from Stepan to be able to release. So that's why we want to change the keys who are able to sign the release. And for that, we don't not only need to update the initial firmware, we also need to update the update firmware with the new keys. And I'm not sure those keys are in there. So I struggled because just recently I created a PR for the boot repository, bootloader repository, and I struggled to find the keys in the update firmware, right? So do you have any knowledge whether these keys are in there or how we would be able to get them in there? Because from my point of view, that is the next step we need to have in order to get to a proper release. I can maybe share my screen if you want, or
yeah, please share your screen because I not completely understand your question. Are you talking about the public keys which are integrated into bootloader?
Yes.
Or something different?
No, that's my point.
No?
So 1 second. Maybe I share this one here. Share. Okay. So we are talking about Specter booter, and there's a pull request adding introspection.
Yeah,
this one
I remember
here.
it. So you basically have made a script which parses the C file with public keys and displays additional information on it.
Right. And this is how it currently looks like, right? So you run the script, and it's called introspect binary. You have to pass the type, so upgrade or initial. And then I basically took the latest release here and let it introspect. And then it loads potential keys, the ones which it searches for. It checks whether it finds it. And then it finds two signatures here, right? But this is not enough for our purposes. So if we want to change the keys, it should not only find signatures, it needs to, then it checks for the threshold right here. So this is fine. But it only, so if it introspects the initial firmware, then there it finds public keys, right? And currently, those are the keys which it's finding. So it's Mike, it's Stepan, it's Ben, Moritz, and a backup key. So what we need to somehow achieve is that we will be able to create a binary and an upgrade binary which has the new keys in there. Make sense? The keys from my keys, and I'm not sure what other keys we have there, right?
But it should be done normally when you are building the bootloader.
So you think that
If the keys are updated,
are in
it
there
should be built with the new keys already.
already? All right. Okay.
Maybe we haven't merged this PR yet, which replaces the actual keys in the C file.
I don't think there is a PR, so maybe I haven't tried hard enough. Yeah. So because maybe I should, because this is completely white coded, right? So and it took me I don't know 2-3 hours or something like that until I got it to that state. But maybe the update script also contains the keys, and I just didn't try it hard enough. So I can try again, so that we will find the keys also in the upgrade binary. Yeah, and if that's not the case, then I can still return and say it's like I couldn't make that happen, and then you can have a look. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, then please maybe have a look and
I'll have a look
at them, and you don't have to merge this one, but maybe you want to merge this one because this is a very obvious. You made that request to upgrade it, and then we can take it from there. Okay.
Okay.
That's more or less all from my side, because I was also very busy with the stress test. I think Schnurz, the stress test is have your changes now in. It's just not building the firmware for some reason. I'm not sure why, but I will take care for that for the next days, so that it's ready for the stress test. But that's all from my side.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Yeah, 3 minutes left, more or less, from the time box. I think we covered a lot. Thank you very much, especially Torin. Steve, have you?
I was just saying I've got a. Oh, it does show a cut the background.
Oh.
But, the lock time transaction version 2 does work. Lock time 10. Lock time, I just created a test PSBT, and the inputs and outputs are all there in the feed. So the show detailed information actually works on the device. But anyway, it doesn't. I'll put it in the PR, the test PSBT I used for this, and an instruction on how to create one using PSBT Faker. You might want to play with that. So.
Did you try an lock time with in a timestamp format or in a block?
The tool I've got only has block format, so I'll have to expand PSBT Faker to be able to give the time format as well. So that'll need some upgrade on the tooling side. But
which PSBT Faker are you using?
I modified the CoinKite's one to actually work, because this hadn't been maintained in years. So I've put it in the PR, a link to my GitHub repo. And essentially, you just pass it at XPub, and whatever parameters you want, it'll create your PSBT with all of that in there. So you can very easily create test wallets without having to move funds around. And but it does work. Like your extended detailed information does work, and it does toggle on and off nicely. And again, don't have the time to upgrade the tool right now, but it works. So.
The question is for the timestamp conversion function that applies in the local time function that applies in it could be different in a simulator, and
I'll expand the PSBT Faker to be able to do that too. So, but for the moment, I'll put this one.
I think that on Electrum you can simply create a transaction with a future log time timestamp. I know that whenever you use a modern wallet, they automatically put the current block height, or a few blocks back. but you can also, I'm pretty sure you can also on Electrum create a transaction with a log time, not a relative log time, but an absolute log time. Yeah, it's a common feature.
Yeah. I guess for me, part of it is just an excuse to update the tool for PSBT Faker. Just the ability to be able to create arbitrary PSBTs with as many inputs, outputs, and other parameters you like is extremely useful for this sort of thing. So it's worth it for me. Like I could just make it in Electrum and do it manually, but it's
it's useful.
I'll include it on the PR.
Yeah, I also wanted for me to check that two wallets create the same outputs exactly without leaking stuff in the signature. Or
That's right. And I was using it to benchmark like signing performance, like on some different devices with hundreds and hundreds of inputs. So anyway, I'll keep it on the PR, and you can get it from there. Anyway, we're over time now, so I'm sorry. I'll stop now. But it did work. So
great. So I stopped the live stream for now. I think we have the full hour already.
Yeah.